Going to Japan is exciting, but what do you do? Where do you go? What do you see? Last video, I dropped some suggestions for planning a trip around Japan. So I'm gonna be doing itinerary reviews, kind of walk you through my process of looking at an itinerary, review some itineraries on Reddit. I had a lot of fun with this one. So if you got some itineraries or ideas about places where you wanna go in Japan, drop those in the comments. Super huge shout out to the folks that did so in the last video. I really, really appreciate the love. Shouted you out in the description as well. So let's jump into it and I'll show you my process of how I look at an itinerary and maybe find gaps. Or if it's cool, I'll just say, hey, it's cool. So jumping in to our first itinerary, we got Tokyo, Hakone, Kyoto, Osaka, Nara, Hiroshima, Tokyo, itinerary check. So right off the bat, in the last video I said, especially for a first trip to Japan, it's like a longer version of what I call the golden route, or some people call it the golden circle. So Tokyo, Hakone, Kyoto, Osaka, Nara, Hiroshima, Tokyo. All right, so minute psychology. One of the things that I like off the bat is you want to include what you're interested in / what you're not interested in, because just because I like anime and manga doesn't mean that you like anime and manga. Just because I like museums and stuff doesn't mean you like museums and stuff. So right off the bat, you want to think about the itinerary, although it seems kind of basic, for what your interests are from that point of view. This is something I want to do a bit more of. I'm going to be sending out an email list with a Japan guide for different things. It's going to be completely free. Things to think about when you go to Japan. If you have a little less time, if you have more time. But again, that's a completely free resource. I'll drop the link in the description. Thursday, April 18th, so that's when they're going. It's going to be busy, probably because of cherry blossoms, but that's okay, especially if they plan for that. So staying in Tokyo, the Akasaka neighborhood. So Akasaka, so again, this is just my process of how I do it. So I don't know how they decided to stay in Akasaka. One of the first things you're gonna wanna do, so I'm gonna look up directions from, why they picked Akasaka, I don't know, but from Narita, boom. So you can see the distance between, okay, how do I get there? They give you some different options. You can search Navitime. Yeah, it was just navitime.co.jp. This time I'm actually gonna specifically check trains, Narita, Akasaka. So yeah, it gives you the suggested route they want you to take, in kind of an order. So you're gonna take the JR Narita line towards Ueno, JR Joban Rapid Express, Ueno to Kitasenju, get you to Akasaka. Okay, so yeah, that's straight on the Narita to Abiko, Abiko to the Joban line. So you're gonna take the Narita line to Abiko, Abiko to Kitasenju. This is actually the line I take when I live in Japan, where I lived in Japan. Kitasenju I know really well. Yep. Then you're gonna take the Tokyo Metro Kyoto line, which you're gonna transfer at Kitasenju. The Kyoto line is there. So you can do this in English. Again, I just did it in Japanese because I'm going kind of quick and I don't want to drag this particular itinerary on too long. But you can also just use good old Google. I like Navitime a little better because what they use in Japan. Google does give you good options, and obviously it's in English. But again, you can use Navitime in English. So I start by looking at, okay, what's the difference between where I'm going from the airport and how do I get there, whatever. So at the airport, this person is getting us downloaded an eSIM. One of the things that I would tell people to do is, if you have an international plan, save yourself the trouble. Check with your phone provider and just see if it's possible for you to use that, essentially, instead of having to get an eSIM and take the SIM card out of the phone and pick one up or whatever. It's not hard, but a lot of modern phone plans now have options where you can just use your phone out of the country, or your particular provider might provide those options. So I would say look into that first. Then if that's not possible, then go the SIM card route, the more expensive option. And again, you won't have access to your phone in terms of data calling, but you could buy a pocket Wi-Fi, and then you could do like Wi-Fi calling and stuff like that if you need to get in contact with people, but mainly just to have access to the internet, so on and so forth. But it can be kind of expensive, so get a Suica card. That's a good idea. Okay, check into the hotel. So they're getting in around 1, so I guess that's kind of funny. Withdraw some money. Yep, I would say when you get to the airport, one of the best times to withdraw money is at the airport at a 7-Eleven. I think if you exchange before you go, you won't get as good of an interest rate. I think it's better just to exchange the money when you're there. I'd take maybe 2,000 yen or something just to have some cash in your pocket before you go. So exchange a very small amount of money. But yeah, I would do what this person did. So Friday, they want to be in Akasaka, so they want to go to Tsukiji. Okay, so again, same deal. A lot of this is going to be this. Akasaka, right? And this is just assuming that they did their research. But let's say in your mind, you don't have an itinerary laid out. You're like, hey, can I get this? I want to really see Tsukiji. What's the best place to stay to see Tsukiji? So best place to stay to see Tsukiji, right? So to give you a different hotels or whatever, you can obviously look up the different neighborhoods. Mitsui Garden's a good 3-star option. Also want to think about hotel stays, how much money you want to spend or don't want to spend. Airbnb is a good option. So let's say, again, I'm not going to do the research this person maybe already did. I'm just going to check their itinerary. So Akasaka to Tsukiji. Right, boom. So Akasaka to Tsukiji. See, if I were them, again, if that's, depends what they're doing on the rest of the day. I haven't looked just yet, but assuming they're gonna go to Akasaka to Tsukiji. Here are the different train options. You can take the Hibiya line. I wouldn't take it at 4. Oh yeah, you're gonna want to go early because that's when they open, and so I'm assuming they accounted for that. Or it could just because it's 3 a.m. in Japan. But this is about the time you're gonna want to go anyway. You're gonna want to go early if you want to actually see them trading fish at the market. So they got Team Labs, they got Tokyo Tower and Roppongi. Yeah, see, I feel like if you're gonna do Tsukiji in the morning, then let's say you pop over to Team Labs. Team Labs, and then I'm gonna change the time because you don't want to leave now. Okay, so that's fair. So it looks like this person did do their research. So Team Labs to Akasaka, so again 11 minutes. You're always gonna see the car option. Uber does exist in Japan, but it's not a big. It's not as big as it is here in the US. So public transportation is gonna be your best bet. I'm gonna take the public transportation option. You can take the bus, but that's something to be aware of, right? Like this is going to be a bus trip depending on from where you are, or unless you're going to try to get to Toyosu Station, which I'm sure you could take from. Looks like there's a train line that runs along here. So again, just some of the research you want to do. This is also why, like I said, I prefer Navi time, because if there is a train option, you could easily check it. Based on Google, it looks like there's just only a bus option here. So yeah, it looks like you take Shin Tomicho Station on the Yurakucho line and go all the way to Toyosu Station and then get from Toyosu Station over. My ex-girlfriend actually used to her family lives over there. So getting to Team Labs is fine. Get your tickets early. So okay, you got Team Labs, then the Imperial Palace and Gardens. See, if you do that in the morning, you get the Team Labs. I want to say Team Labs, most places in Japan don't open till like 10. So I imagine if you see Tsukiji in the morning, I don't know if you're going to want to go to Team Labs as soon as it opens. It does get crowded, but if you have a ticket, it doesn't really matter. There's going to be like a ticketed line and a non-ticketed line. The ticketed line, obviously, you get in faster. Again, not too bad, but again, there's a bus involved here. This one is probably the option I would take because the buses in Japan are good, but the trains are always, to me, the better option, unless you're in Kyoto, which we'll get to. But it looks like the fastest option. I didn't pick that particular day. If I did, so then, trains aren't going to necessarily change, depending on the day. Obviously the train time can change a little bit, but the general idea is the same. So about 30 minutes there. Okay, and that's good. That's a good amount of stuff. So Saturday, they're going to stay in Akasaka because Ueno is nearby. Okonomiyaki, do sensoji, drinks in Golden Guy. Good idea. All that stuff's kind of in that same area of Akasaka. So Shinjuku Golden Guy is like over there. But again, if you remember, Akasaka, relatively close. Most places, like you say 30 minutes, like that's not bad on this particular train. If you take the Marunouchi line, it's like 27 minutes, so fairly close. And they have a good mix of not doing too much on one particular day. I kind of like that. Tokyo, Akasaka, Ueno Park, Asakusa, and then Sensoji. This is where I might maybe change this actually. I said most of that stuff's in the same area, but actually Ueno, Yanaka, because then you're gonna go from there to Asakusa back to Golden Guy to maybe do like a tour at night. I mean, if you don't mind, but you gotta think, you gotta travel 2 ways, right? So if you're going to Asakusa and come back, that's 2 hours in a particular day. I don't know how many people are going. We're a couple in their early 30s, so yeah, no issues with walking miles. So I mean, they're a young couple. If they were a bit older, not being ageist, but just saying they're a bit older. If they're a bit older. You might want to slow it down just a touch. I would maybe stay in the Ueno area, and then maybe do Taito, Asakusa, all that stuff in kind of a separate day, but that's just me. But again, if they do that during the day, they can see Ueno product kind of pretty early, spend the afternoon in Asakusa, come back to Golden Guy. So Sunday, they're going to be staying in Hakone. Okay, I see what's happening. They're going to do Meiji Shrine and Yoyogi. Yeah, so I guess they didn't explain this super well, but just my cautionary tale here would be, you want to get to Hakone earlier. I said go to Hakone in the late afternoon. I guess I see. They just want to do dinner at Hakone, so a day in Tokyo still. But you're going to have all your luggage. So in this particular case, I would highly recommend you forward your luggage. So if they're going to Hakone on the 21st, I would have had them for their luggage maybe on like the 19th and pack like a backpack, like full of 2 days worth of clothes. Then go to Hakone in the late afternoon, cool, and do dinner in Hakone. So they're gonna see Meiji Shrine, Shinjuku Gyoen. Looks like all this stuff is in the same area. The only thing I would say is, like, I guess you could spend a lot of time at Meiji Shrine and Yoyogi, then check out the National Garden, then do Shibuya and Motesando. Then I would kind of make sure I do the I don't know if he has them listed in order. I would go Meiji Shrine, Yoyogi Park, Shibuya, Omotesando, National Garden, and head out, leaving from probably Shinjuku Station. All right, then you got Monday. So they jumping into Monday, they get into Hakone. I don't know where they're staying. That's my daughter screaming in the background, so don't mind that. So you're gonna start your day in okay, they're staying in one of the Goras. Goras are very nice. If you're gonna splurge, I'd say splurge in the traditional Japanese stay. Good idea. Do the Hakone ropeway. Yep. Sightseeing boat cruise. Yep. Planned out there. Make your way back to Hakone Yumoto Gora. Can't remember which one's better. Enjoy kaiseki. Yep. They said they thought about it. Head out to a local izakaya. Yep. That'll be fun. Day in Hakone. I like that. Then they're gonna leave. Same thing. Same deal here. So one of the other things too is when you're traveling, if they didn't pack like super heavy or whatever, I would say, yeah, you don't need to send your luggage. But if they did pack kind of heavy, as soon as I got to Hakone, I would send my luggage out. Okay. Make your way back to the Gora. Nice. They're staying in Kyoto. Start at the Lakeside Hakone checkpoint for insights. Lakeside Hakone checkpoint. The Tokaido Trail. Yep. Okay. Walk a scenic stretch of the old Tokaido Trail. So just stuff I just would look. Between Hatajuku and Hakone Yumoto, the trail follows the road, which is not. See? So again, not knocking the person. I'm not saying that they didn't do this research, but just some things to notice, right? So here's a whole write-up on the old Tokaido Trail, how to walk it. Again, if this is something that is you feel like make or break and is gonna, essentially they're gonna hit this Cedar Avenue. So there's no sidewalk. It's not particularly scenic or pleasant. I think I've had clients do the entire Tokaido Trail, but not just this particular path. I don't know, man. I'm just a fan. I feel like that's a lot. I feel like that's a bit much, like to try to cram that in the morning. I would probably just have a slow morning, have breakfast, chill out, then go to Kyoto. But that's just me. That day, I'd probably skip the Air Museum unless you really want to see it, or I'd just do the Air Museum in the morning and then head to Kyoto. I feel like that's a lot to try to cram into that. They said you don't mind walking. I guess, do you guys really like hiking? Would be my question too. I feel like you're gonna be doing a lot of walking anyway, and I don't actually know how much hiking you're gonna want to really do. Fushimi Inari, they're gonna go to Kyoto. Where they're staying at in Kyoto, they didn't specify. You can stay in the downtown, you can stay in a few different areas, but so they're gonna go Fushimi Inari in the morning, hike a little until 8:30 a.m. when the office opens to obtain. Okay, so they're gonna get there early, walk around, then go back to the office, get the pass, take the Keihin main line to Kiyomizu Gojo Station, walk 20 minutes to get to Kiyomizu Dera, visit Kiyomizu Dera, leave by 10:30. It's gonna be crowded, but it is what it is. Kodaiji Temple, they got a less, I guess, visited. So as you get into Kyoto, and I'm actually doing this in real time, so it's not like I looked this up beforehand. So they're gonna walk over to Kodaiji, do that. So the way they're gonna start their day, they said they get into Kyoto, go to Gojo, So yeah, this is Kyoto Station. Yeah, I personally like to stay near Kyoto Station. You could stay kind of up here, but I like staying near the station because I feel like the access around Kyoto is easier. A lot of times you're gonna do Kyoto by bus, but you can take the train, but I just like being near the station. Some people stay in the Kawaramachi area too. Some people stay closer to Nishiki Market. Some people stay up here. I try to stay a little more central or closer to the station because I guess that's a little south. But downtown / like Kyoto Station. In the morning they said they're gonna do Fushimi Inari, which is over here. Fushimi Inari Taisha, Kiyomizu Dera. So early in the morning, Fushimi Inari, Kiyomizu Dera, Kodaiji. So a lot of walking that day. Maruyama Park. Yeah, Maruyama. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying it is. Yeah, Maruyama is right there. Yeah, I get it. If you really want to see these temples, I guess do. But I'm always a fan of kind of slowing things down and maybe taking more time in one place. Fushimi Inari is my favorite temple. Kiyomizu Dera is awesome though. But yeah, I might actually cut one of these out. Explore Gion, have dinner there. Yeah, Gion's a good place to do dinner. Yeah, I would probably cut out one of the temples, to be honest. I don't feel like you need them all. If you want to see Kodaiji, yeah, then maybe I might even cut Maruyama. I don't know. You've been to a couple gardens and parks and stuff, so I might cut that if it were me. We'll cut that other temple at the end there. Spend a little more time in. I said Gion? Gion. Yeah. And Gion's the name of a karate form. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, and it's all in that area. So, I mean, it's close. If you're looking for something to do, sure. I probably would cut one of those out. Just feels like a lot. Like you're trying to cram a lot in, and I don't know if it's like more so it's a, hey, this is the only time we're gonna be here kind of thing. Next day, Arashiyama. Okay, so that's Arashiyama's gonna be up to the northwest. So Arashiyama is over here. Some of these temples, Noodle Lunch, Arashiyama, Kinkakuji is close. Man, I would say this. Arashiyama is cool. It is really popular also with kids. Walking through the bamboo grove is cool, but I think you'll get to see some of that if you do Fushimi Inari. You'll get to see some of the bamboo groves and stuff. I would try to just head to Kinkakuji early because it is super popular. You know, it's gonna be crowded. I mean, it's outside, so it's a little better. And you're gonna go to Osaka in the same day? Yeah, this is maybe, that's not a judgment, but it's like, oh, okay. This is maybe, yeah, this is all the 25th. Dinner in Osaka. If I were gonna do this, I would probably say, yeah, honestly, and this is maybe a way you can think about it. You could change some of the days some of the times that you do this stuff. I don't know. I'm not gonna give you the exact layout, but I would honestly probably do Nishiki in the morning so it's not crazy crowded. But I would try to go earlier. Most of it opens at 9, so I would honestly try to do Nishiki first. Then Kinkakuji, even if it's crowded, is outside. And again, this is Google Maps, yeah, because you're gonna be you got a long travel in here anyway. So because I think if you go Arashiyama to Kinkakuji to Nishiki, it's gonna be a lot. You're gonna lose a lot of time just on transport, which will make it kind of tight. Like, I see you built it in, but I just feel like you don't need to. It's kind of, you don't need to do that. And again, unless there's something really specific you're gonna want to see in Arashiyama, totally up to you. But you could book a tea ceremony experience, so you don't have to do it near Nishiki. So like when you get in, maybe one night if you got some extra time and you build it in on one of the earlier days, then do the tea ceremony experience. Maybe have a guide, splurge for a guide there or whatever. That way you kind of still check that box if the tea ceremony is that important to you. Then you could cut down on Arashiyama in the morning, check out Nishiki, head to Kinkakuji, and then near Kinkakuji, if you want, you could do a tea ceremony experience. I don't know if I'm not gonna look up if they have them near there, but I'm sure it's Kyoto, so I'm sure they do. And if you really wanted to still go to Osaka, you could. Yeah, to me, it doesn't, at least the way this itinerary looks, it looks like you're gonna go to Osaka the day before, then come back to Kyoto, then go to Osaka in the day, then stay in Osaka the next day. So I kind of feel like if you're gonna still be staying in Kyoto, stay in Kyoto, do dinner in Kyoto that night, then go to Osaka the next day since you already got that planned. Then you're gonna go to Kurama and do Ginkakuji. Kurama, Ginkakuji. 33元度ね. This is still, oh, you're gonna go back to, yeah, this is probably the part, okay. I get it. Ginkakuji is cool, and it's lesser friend, Kinkakuji. Yeah, because it's the silver pavilion, but it's not actually silver. Yep, okay. Yeah, this is probably where I would say I would think about, and maybe you've got this in some of the other comments below, is because, and maybe it's just how it's written, and maybe you addressed that already, I don't know, but I'm just doing a quick review of how I think about stuff. Okay, so my assumption is, yeah, because this to me would be, you're gonna do a half-day trip. So that morning, you're gonna still be in Kyoto because you're gonna have to go back to Kyoto from Osaka if you did dinner, which I wouldn't do. But assuming you're gonna still be in Kyoto, then you're gonna leave to go to Osaka. I don't necessarily know that you need it here. Again, I would just like to travel light instead of putting my stuff in lockers or whatever. I could just like to have my bags meet me. But yeah, Osaka too. So you want to do this stuff. I see. I think honestly, that day would be kind of tight because you want to walk the path of philosophy. You want to do Nanzenji, then go to Osaka. Yeah, I see why you want to stay in Kyoto. It's a lot to just do again. Very similar there. I would probably, although I just would do maybe Ginkakuji, check Nanzenji, again, unless you like, one of the things about Japan is like, yes, all temples can be unique. I personally have found that some of my friends are templed out by the time they are in Kyoto, so I maybe would cut some of the temples. Ginkakuji, because of the history and some of that stuff, I guess could be interesting. Yeah, it's just kind of a lot. It's just kind of a lot. Like even saying like, oh, you get there, but you can still walk the grounds and then head to Osaka later, or just create some breathing room there. Get to Osaka, because then you could get to Osaka earlier and then do dinner and stuff in Osaka, do dotonburi and all that stuff. Then if you're gonna do it, yeah, I'm gonna keep going through this itinerary because I feel like I've bogged this down. It's like equidistant. Yeah, you could do a day trip. It's totally fine. Yeah, I would, if you want to have that day trip to Nara just to see it, yeah, I would shrink down some of that stuff in Kyoto, kind of slow it up a bit. Then I would do Osaka, maybe do something that afternoon, try to get there in the afternoon, and maybe even do some street food and stuff. Check out the Glico Man and all of that. There's some cool history there. Okay, so you got the castle the following day. So you're gonna do a day trip, dotonburi. Okay, so you already had dotonburi and stuff in there. Yeah, I mean, and you can maybe even split that up some. So again, I think you're just gonna be doing a lot in every place you go. And it's not gonna be hot, but I think there is a fair bit of walking. I know you're used to walking, and I'm in my 30s, but even I can get tired out walking around Japan. So I jump rope and I'm fairly in shape, but just food for thought. Check out the market, dinner and drinks in Dotonbori Street. Yep. Then you're gonna go from Osaka to Hiroshima. Okay, arrive at Hiroshima station. Yeah, again, so this is another situation where I might have sent my bags, or unless you're gonna check them in at the station, and then come back and get them out of a locker. Because most places you can't check in till 3. 1, something like that. Like I think just like most hotels anywhere. So as you do like early check-in, you just don't want to have all your stuff. Do the Memorial Museum, the Peace Park, do some lunch, check out the dome, do the garden, early train back to Tokyo. So you built 2 days in at the end. Yeah, like that. Essentially, yeah, that last trip is a long haul from Hiroshima. But again, you seem like you've done your research to Tokyo. Search. So yeah, again, it's a long haul, right? It's a bop. So, but yeah, like you built that extra day in, which is good. The good thing is you're not trying to go there and back in one day. So you just got the one long train ride. One of the things, so you early back, you're gonna stay in the Tokyo Yanaka area. The Hiroshima itinerary is a standard Hiroshima itinerary. So really no comments there. You're not gonna be there super long, but you're kind of on that side of things and you have the extra time to do it. And if the history and stuff like that is what you're interested in, I get it. Checking out the Hiroshima Peace Park is super impactful and all of that. So I got you there. And I'm sure there's little, this isn't everything. So I'm sure there's little bits and pieces that I missed. So you're probably gonna come back into either Tokyo Station or Shinagawa. So I don't know. There's probably options, but Yanaka. See, this is why, like, even though you, like, going back, you did have Asakusa there on a day. You might want to think about if you might be tired, especially after the long journey. But if you can buy souvenirs and stuff, I would even pop back in, like, or if you've already been to Asakusa, so you can kind of do it both ways. You might, instead of trying to have to see things on that last half day that you have in Tokyo, which could feel a bit rushed. Maybe seeing it on the front end, I understand if that's the way you're thinking about it, but I would either go back to Asakusa that day and maybe buy souvenirs or whatever. If you're gonna take gifts back for people, it's a good area to do it in because you're gonna be staying near your Taito city, which is not too far from Asakusa and all that stuff. So good call there, because that way the next morning you can take the train right out. So yeah, I would say overall super cool itinerary. Sounds like you guys are gonna have a lot of fun. I would probably slow it down in some places. Think about how many experiences maybe you're doing per day, especially that Kyoto Osaka portion. Like I feel like there's a way to kind of see some of the things that you want. I cut down on some of the temples, but that's up for you to decide. But overall, I think the idea, and it shows that you've done a lot of research, which is good. And you have your interests and stuff kind of plugged in. So that's good. So drop your itineraries in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to take a look, give you a review, give you some of my thoughts. I'm also going to be giving out a free Japan travel resource. Just leave your email. Just things to consider in general when you're traveling to Japan. So if you want the access to that stuff, again, completely free. And then more things to come.